Hey guys, it's Phoenix Android Radios here, and in this video we're going to be looking at the 13-inch radio for the F150 vehicles from 2009 to 2014. Now this version of the radio has the air conditioning plugs here, and you would need the factory monitor as well as the factory CD player continued install in the car. Quick rundown of the installation. When you take out the air conditioning faceplate buttons, again, leave the top monitor in the car, leave the CD player in the car. You do need to remove the CD player, so once you remove it, there is two plugs at the back that you put our connections to, and then the other end go back into the car. So these were the original car plugs that go into our harness and back to the CD player. The rest of the connectors are the factory ones back to where they originally were, and you can put the CD player back in. The CD player originally was on the top here, but using the brackets that we provide, screw them onto the sides of the radio, and that will let you shift the CD player in rather from the top towards the bottom for our radio screen to fit in. Another thing to note is that the air conditioning plugs here were originally down here, and there are clips here that do need to be let go so that you can have more leeway and more slack on the cable so that we can plug it into the top of the radio back here. So two things need to connect is the two connections at the bottom of the CD player. Place the CD player back in. There's this nub here that does fit in one of this hole here. The air conditioning plugs, remove the tab that is keeping it inside more, route it to the top here, and then you can put the CD player back inside. With these vehicles, you do have sometimes a sync badge here and a USB and an aux jack connector. At the back of this, you have this plug. We do need to interface with this. So on the harness, you can see we've made a T connection here, and this two cables routes all the way to these male RCAs. And this male RCA allows us to get the sound from the radio. If you look for this plug, on this plug there's two RCAs labeled outs. These are the outs for the radio. There's front and the rears. You only need to use one set, either the front or the rears. In this case, we're going to be using the rears, RL out and RR out. So we'll connect that aux jack here. And the T harness again, we're looking for is for the 3.5 jack, and that is this connector. Originally was connected here. We will disconnect it and add our T harness connection and connect this back to the aux jack. This is how our radio will interface with the factory sound system to output the sound, which is why you would still need the factory CD player and the top monitor. We do have a version coming out that in case you do not have the factory CD player, you can purchase the other model of this radio that does not need the CD player. So now that we have the aux jack connected at the bottom here with the T harness, we have the main cable here. We'll connect to the top of the radio. Looking at the back of the radio really quick, you have the GPS antenna on the left. You get an adapter that can support the factory GPS antenna in the car, or you also get a puck that is an external GPS antenna. The Wi-Fi antenna, there's usually a plastic cap over this, but this is the Wi-Fi antenna. And you have the 4G antenna for a SIM card on the radio. And that SIM card comes from this harness. And we've routed that SIM card port along with the two USB cables to the glove compartment. So this is the SIM insert slot. Move your factory buttons at the top here and make the factory connection, which is up here. At the top here, the main connection you're going to have is a USB cables as well as the camera and this CAN disconnection connector that we have connected. You also have this adapter. Now this adapter connects to the top here, and this other end connects to the main power cord, which is already here. So we'll connect this here. Check the needles, see if they're straight or not bent. They look good. And you have this connection which goes to the board at the back here. So the main thing for functions would be the main power cord here, this connection, and this board connector. This will get the majority of the functions, and for the air conditioning, these two connectors back here. So we'll do that for now. Just wanted to mention, if you're hooking up an aftermarket camera, there is this connector here, which is a 10-pin connector, and that connects to the top here. This is a aftermarket camera connection. So we'll connect these three connectors at the top here. There's a beep. We'll connect the 4G SIM card antenna here. Screw that on. The aftermarket backup camera will connect as a 10-pin connector. The RCA connections harness. We have the two cables for the three USB ports. This one has two USB ports on it. This one has one. And that is routed down here at the glove compartment with the SIM card reader. And we'll connect the two USBs, clip facing downwards. This is the aftermarket camera connection, connected to the top here. The last thing to do is the air conditioning plugs. The gray one goes on the passenger side, and the brown one goes on the driver's side.